Ladies and gentlemen, not many people are talking about this, but if you look at the first day of the Durham probe trial of the Steele dossier source, one of the sources, or the primary source, Danchenko, John Durham has already at least gotten one conviction of one out of the 5 counts. All he had to do, and you don't have to be a legal scholar to understand this or to make this claim. All he had to do initially is prove the Steele dossier was completely fabricated and false. He did that. If you look, Fox News, Durham probe, FBI offered Christopher Steele $1 million to corroborate Trump allegations in dossier. Steele couldn't corroborate allegations in dossier paid for by Hillary Clinton campaign and DNC through law firm. Okay. They were offered $1 million in taxpayer money. They couldn't find any dirt, any link, any nothing between Trump and the Kremlin. The whole thing was completely fabricated by the same people who react in horror if Trump says something without immediate evidence backing the claim. These people react in the most apoplectic indignation when Trump makes a baseless claim. Oh, a post-truth moment. These are the people who have lied continuously every single day for 6 years. Since 2016, actually since 2015, until today, 7 years. They have not stopped lying, and Trump was telling the truth. Trump has told the truth infinitely more than Democrats, media, the Washington Post, and the New York Times. They'll slice and dice every hyperbolic thing he says. It's not true. It's not the best economy, and they'll do so, by the way. Go and look up Trump's 15 greatest lies. They're nothing compared to when Joe said, "Oh, hey, man, I don't know what Hunter was doing, man. Come on now. He did nothing wrong, man." They're nothing. Graft and bribery. Within the 15 lies, Trump was a crowd size. It wasn't the best economy, that type of thing. It was one of the greatest economies that we've had. 2019, we had a record low in poverty and a record high in household median income. We need a record low in poverty and a record high in household median income, and still Democrats and media were like, oh, it's not that great. And now we have poverty at, close to 15%? And an economy in free fall, a stock market that's crashing like I said it would in 2021. Hit subscribe to this channel, by the way. We're going to zoom past 200,000 subs very soon. We're going into November 8th, ladies and gentlemen. We're going into midterms, people. Be here on this channel. We're going to do live streams every day. My live stream just before this one is like 10,000 views after 1 hour. Thank God, because of you watching this channel. I appreciate your support. But we had a fantastic live stream with 600 people today or so, and it was awesome. And we talked about the $1 million that in taxpayer money that they were willing to give the Federal Bureau of Investigation to Christopher Steele. They found nada, zilch, bupkis, zero, nothing on Trump. It was completely fabricated. And so even the notion, the idea, the claim that they interfered in 2016 with what? It was a concerted effort with Facebook ads and Twitter bots. How many votes? How many people changed their decision from Clinton to Trump? How about nobody? Nobody takes Twitter. If on Twitter, if you are offered an opposing viewpoint, that makes you even more entrenched in your current viewpoint. The opposite takes place of what they claimed. And then they say, well, the DNC emails were hacked by you-know-who. Well, then why, though? Oh, it was to show that Bernie Sanders was cheated, thus forcing people to vote for Trump or not to vote Democrat. Well, that's not, even if that was true, the DNC never gave its computer servers to the James Comey of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. But even if that were true, and if that causes people not to vote, is that a problem with another country or is that a problem with the Democratic Party? Okay. If you're cheating on your wife in your bedroom and your wife opens up the door and sees you in bed, are you going to say, the neighbor wanted you to know? It was the neighbor who told you. He's from Moscow, our neighbor. Your wife isn't gonna. What? You're in our bed. No. You know what? You should apologize to me. The neighbor, that Russian neighbor, he told you to come in and barge in. He's the one who should. It's an effort to interfere in our family. The issue is that you're in bed. But see, that's the Democratic Party. Hunter, Joe, a Trump impeachment. He tried to pressure another government to investigate Joe. Joe was getting money and kickbacks from Hunter. Graft and bribery are serious felonies. He also altered U.S. foreign policy. Why do you think he was bragging to the Council on Foreign Relations? Why do you think when he boasted to the Council, I believe it was the Council on Foreign Relations, he said, "Oh, and by the way, those government officials said you don't have the authority." And then Joe said, "Oh, well, go ask President Obama." Well, why didn't they think he had the authority, and why were they completely stunned and blindsided by it? Because it wasn't official U.S. foreign policy. Because it wasn't known that he was going to go force out a prosecutor. The whole thing is, the best thing that Democrats are able to get away with is hiding in plain sight. They hide in plain sight. The wrongdoing is out in the open. They cheated Bernie Sanders. Biden forced out a prosecutor. Hunter's raking in millions. The Clinton Foundation, and millions upon millions. Uranium One, 20% of U.S. uranium capacity. But then they say it's Trump. He was installed. And then half the electorate, like a bunch of clapping seals, says, okay, yes, whatever you say. There's zero critical thinking skills for the average morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrat, who's basically a wonderful person. But when it comes to politics, becomes like this, like, deviant, like, angry, furious monster when presented with evidence of criminality on our own political side. The criminality and the corruption within the Democratic Party is infinitely greater than anything you could say about Trump. They haven't indicted Trump because they don't have a crime yet. They haven't indicted Hunter or Hillary because there are crimes there. But you have Comey stating, well, no reasonable prosecutor would indict. When they find crimes with Democrats, they can't find a reasonable prosecutor. I mean, no reasonable prosecutor would indict. And then with Hunter, they're still investigating. They're investigating, but they're not investigating the actual. The bribery and the graft leads right to the presidency. That's why they're so reluctant to actually do something about it. Because it leads right to the presidency and all the people who emboldened and enabled this man. Mashed potato brains, Joe. But, ladies and gentlemen, he'll get a conviction. All he had to do was prove that it was nonsense. Case closed. He offered $1 million. The FBI official, the witness, said, we offered $1 million to Steele. He couldn't, not even for $1 million. Like, what he should have done is put something truthful in there. At least he would have gotten $1 million. But at least maybe like 100,000. But he got put nothing. Nothing was truthful. The whole thing was completely fabricated. Even Michael Cohen was implicated. And he was defending himself until he turned on Trump after he committed felonies. Everyone, like, you look at this world, the morally superior liberal democratic world, Andrew Cuomo, Chris Cuomo, Juicy Smollett, Christopher Steele, you look at these people on trial in Durham Probe Special Counsel, the bureau official who pleaded guilty to actually deceiving a FISA judge just to get Trump. Alec Baldwin, who accidentally ended someone's life and now might possibly, very likely, face criminal charges. And so you look, I mean, Eric Schneiderman, all these people who were against Trump, what was his name? Avenatti, Stormy. Where are all these people now? They're either in prison or they're going through their own issues. Trump is like a mirror to all of these people. He's not perfect, but he's a lot more. He has a greater grasp of morality, and he's a better human being than mashed potato brains Joe, who not only voted alongside Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld, but presided over the destruction of Libya with President Obama. But see, again, this is like information. It's like they either don't care, they don't know about it, or when they're presented with this information, like, whatever, Trump is worse. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. He'll get one conviction, people. Today, he basically secured at least one conviction out of the 5 counts, possibly more. Give me your thoughts below. Be here tomorrow or when you watch this today for the live stream about 6 p.m. Pacific. Thanks, everybody.